I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Joining me today is Rishi Khosla. He is CEO at OakNorth. Rishi, wonderful to see you. Thanks for joining me on the floor today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Rishi, quick note before we get started to our viewers. This interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. All right, so Rishi, tell me, what are some of the challenges when it comes to assessing climate change risk in the commercial loan book?
When you think about climate change and you think about how financial institutions are thinking about sort of the climate risk within their businesses, often they're looking at their largest loans, their large corporate lending, and saying, where's our risk then through our finance emissions? When you go one step below that and you look at the tens of thousands of loans they have to lower middle market, small businesses, etc., there's so much inherent sort of need for those businesses to go through the decarbonization journey. And often the banks aren't spending any significant time actually understanding that with any granularity, because they're focused on the larger corporate exposures. So the real challenge is just the number of different borrowers and fundamentally the lack of information which comes from them around sort of emissions and other aspects to enable them to actually run analysis.
So Rishi, tell me, what role do commercial banks have to play in helping the economy transition to net zero?
When you look at sort of the whole function of banking, right? So to provide capital, to provide sort of payment infrastructure, etc. If you think about the trillions of dollars which need to be spent, I mean, estimated nearly 2 times what PPP was on an annual basis over the next several years to actually help economies decarbonize, the banks are the logical conduit to actually provide that funding. So to fund the capex which is needed, and the banks have to play that role. So I think a pivotal role.
Okay, so now you're working with a number of banks to support them in measuring, mitigating, and managing climate change risk. Tell me what you're doing in this space.
So we built a framework where effectively we split the economy into 274 subsectors. And within each of those subsectors, we've created models for all the high scope 1 and scope 2 emitting industries to identify the transition path for businesses which actually are in those particular sub-industry groups. So we produce this whole framework and all of our models, and then we apply this to lending books, to large commercial loan books, so our clients can put tens of thousands of loans through this and understand actually where are those businesses where there's climate risk and also climate opportunity for them to actually, as I said, sort of lend into that whole decarbonization. So the whole climate scenario module for us is a key adjunct to our core credit intelligence product to help banks actually go through identifying financed emissions, identifying where climate risk lies in their loan books, but also where the climate opportunity exists for them.
All right, well, Rishi, wonderful to have you on Floor Talk. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much.